Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the webinar How to Use AI to Improve Mobile App Ratings. I'm Martin Kuban and I'll be the moderator for this session. We are using the Contrast platform for today's webinar. If you encounter any technical issues, please use the chat function to contact our support member. Feel free to post your questions in the Q&A section throughout the session. We will address them during the last 5 minutes, or we will simply reach out to you afterwards. The session is being recorded, and the recording will be shared with all registrants afterwards. Etnetera Group is a family of technology companies based in Prague, Czech Republic. We specialize in guiding clients through digital transformation. Our expertise includes custom software development, design and development of mobile apps, AI solutions, data analytics, cloudification, or various business consulting services. We typically work with mid-sized to large enterprises in the Czech Republic and Slovakia, but also increasingly in the European Union. Our core expertise lies in financial services and automotive, where we support some of the leading players on the market. We are also strong in e-commerce and sports betting, helping our clients to drive innovation, scalability, and long-term digital success. Our speakers today are Ondřej Franek, Head of Delivery at Etnetera Flow. With over 10 years in mobile development, Ondřej focuses on mobile apps delivery and scaling, and he is an expert in agile development, agile project management. Martin Hoch is the AI development lead at Etnetera Activate, and Martin specializes in implementing AI solutions for efficient data management and content creation with a focus on cloud-based AI services. Before we dive into today's topic, let's look at what app users think about app ratings. Here are the results of our quick LinkedIn poll, in which 70% of respondents highlighted the impact of app ratings on their decision to download an app, underscoring the importance of our discussion today. And now let's delve into the strategies and tools that can help improve your app ratings. I'll hand over to our first speaker, Ondřej Franek. Ondřej, the floor is yours.
Hi, hey everyone. My name is Ondřej. Good afternoon. Hope you had a good lunch. Maybe you're having one right now, so enjoy a meal. And as Martin showed in the LinkedIn poll, app ratings influence user behavior. But here's something that might surprise you. Even 4.5 stars might not always be enough. And our research shows that the sweet spot for app ratings is between 4.2 and 4.8 stars. If your app drops below 4 stars, you can lose up to 50% of potential downloads. And ironically, even perfect 5 stars can raise suspicion because it probably feels too good to be true. And this means that rating isn't just a number. It's a trust signal. And that's especially important today as we shift from websites and big screens to mobile-first experiences and increasingly from web to mobile apps. So for many users, your App Store listing might be the first interaction with your brand. They might never visit your website or see your ad. They just see your app, see the rating, and decide in a matter of seconds. So having a rating of, let's say, 3.8 stars might be enough to damage the perception of your brand, even if your app is great. And that is why we cannot rely just on organic feedback. To begin with, just to clarify the terminology we're going to use during the webinar, ratings are the stars and reviews are the written comments. One more technical note. If your rating has dropped, you can reset it when you release a new version of your app, but only on iOS. Also, only the star rating can be reset. The written reviews remain visible either way. So the reset isn't a silver bullet or a great solution, and we recommend using it carefully. And on Android, unfortunately, this option doesn't exist at all, and the rating can be reset. So why do good apps still struggle with ratings? Because on average, only 0.5 to 1% of users rate your app organically. And most of those, from our experience, are probably unhappy users. Even if your app is great, complex services always have edge cases where something doesn't work for someone. And that's why we don't just wait and hope for good feedback. By actively asking users to rate the app, uh, we can increase response rates to 4 to 8% of your app user base. And most importantly, we will finally start getting feedback from satisfied users. This change alone can lift your rating well above 4.5 stars, assuming your app does not have big issues. So let's dive into how to ask for rating inside the app. And let's start with what we call the reactive approach or passive approach, which we think is the more subtle and respectful option. Um, this means placing a rating prompt somewhere inside your app's interface, but not actively pushing it in front of the user. Uh, for example, in the settings screen, in the profile section, or even embedded between two pieces of content on your dashboard, as I show in the screenshot. You can admire my design skills. In a news or blog app, like the one in the screenshot, we would put this box between key sections or individual articles, something like enjoying the app, let us know by rating us in the App Store, with a button that opens the rating prompt. The big advantage of this approach is that it doesn't interrupt the user. They are not forced to make a decision right away. They can ignore it, or they can respond when it suits them. They can even close it, and we know we should display it sometimes later. You might be asking how many people rate this way, and the answer is the conversion rate is not that high. Not everyone tops on the CTA, but those who do are typically the users who are already loyal. They know the value of the app, they've had a positive experience, and those are the people whose reviews you want in the store. It also creates a sense of agency. The user feels in control, and that's always a good thing. And from a development standpoint, this type of request is quite simple. No animations, no difficult API calls, no platform specific code. You just place a visible, well written card into your UI. And what's more, it scales well. You don't need to A B test much. It doesn't require complicated timing logic. It just sits there doing a job. So now let's switch to what we call the proactive approach. Uh, this is the more visible and slightly riskier method. Every one of you has probably seen it many times before. A proactive rating prompt interrupts the user flow. It pops up on top of content. You've probably seen it. Enjoying this app, tap a star to rate us. What's the good news is that it works. users do react. Sometimes even 10 to 15% of your active users respond if the timing is right. That's the important thing. But if you get the timing wrong, you might actually do more harm than good. Imagine this: you open a shopping app, add groceries to your basket, and just as you are about to pay, a full screen window asks you to rate the app. You know, that moment of friction is enough to cause drop offs, frustration. Uh, Ironically, it can bring a bad review. So the question is, when should you show a proactive prompt? And we see two scenarios in general that we've seen work well. First is after completing a key task, like, for example, in an investment app, confirming a trade, uh, making a payment, achieving some sort of milestone. And the second is after several successful sessions in the app, for example, after 5 logins or 3 uses of a key feature. Yeah. Also, both Apple and Google limit how often you can show the native rating prompt. So you only get one shot per version, and there is also a yearly limit that applies to both the reactive and proactive approach, which means it's worth testing different triggers or using custom UI if you want more flexibility. And here's one bonus tip. Some of our clients ask users first, are you happy with the app? If the user types yes, then the app shows the rating prompt. And if the user types no, we offer a short form or feedback channel instead. That way, you avoid asking for public feedback from frustrated users whilst listening to them. Uh, it's important to say that this is a little on the edge of what the official guidelines allow. We can dive into it later if you're interested, but you can do it. Yeah. So to wrap it up, we think that the best approach is a smart combination. Use a passive prompt that's always visible and pair it with a proactive prompt that's carefully triggered at just the right time, and combine the logic of both to avoid asking the same user twice. And that brings us to what's next. Once you've implemented these prompts, expect more feedback, often 4 to 8 times more before you had any kind of mechanism in your app. Now what? You need to do something with all the reviews that start coming in, especially with the negative reviews. We think the best is responding quickly, directly in the App Store or Google Play, which shows users and potential users that you care. We recommend to avoid pushing people to contact support via email. Try solving issues where the problem was raised. It, in our view, builds trust and improves transparency because other users can see your response as well. And with more data coming in, AI can help us understand what is going on, detect root causes, and even benchmark against competitors. And that's where I'll hand over to Martin, who'll show you how we do exactly that at Netera using AI. Martin, it's yours.
Sorry, did you hear me? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to So hi everyone, I'm Martino, and I'm going to introduce you some ideas on how to use AI to get insights from user reviews automatically. So first step is getting the data. So typical sources are of course Google Play and Apple App Store, but there can be other various sources like third-party aggregators or even social media. The type of the input data is usually star rating, then thumbs up, thumb down for specific reviews, and of course text reviews, which contains the most important information of the review. Important part about collecting the data is checking whether collected data correlate with each other, because sometimes the user gives us a neutral or even positive review, but just one star. A typical example for that is Spotify, where you can find a lot of negative reviews just because the user is complaining about the free version of the product, which is caused by the pricing model, not by the developer. Developer cannot do anything about it. So let's get specific. We have three sample reviews. First one is negative, kind of a nightmare for every app developer. It says that the app is keep crashing. The only positive part of the review is that it gives us the information how the crash happens, which gives us space to react. Second one is the exact positive, exact opposite, positive review. And the third one is kind of okay review, mentions some minor error, but the user is overall satisfied. All right, so now we're getting to the interesting part, which is the data transformation of these reviews using AI. So first step is analyzing the sentiment of the text review and check the correlation between sentiment and the number of stars of the review. Next step is extracting the so-called named entities. We can understand named entities as the most important parts of the review, so sort of like a really short summary of what contains the review. Then there is a classification whether we should respond to the user or not. So if we have a negative review, we definitely must respond as quickly as possible. If we have a neutral review, the response is optional. And if we have a positive review, we don't need to react as quickly as we should. So then the last but not least, we can generate the suggested answer, which is really helpful for the users to handle the answers for the review. It gives us a really quick response to the problem, which shows the user that we are proactive and we are working on the issue. And finally, we can also use some reg solution to get the solution to the user issue. So we don't need to find the information. We just try to solve it based on the user input. So here's the overview of the data transformation we've done. You can check those later in the presentation. The final step is making the data accessible as possible for our general user. So here again, we can use some AI tools. We can create an interface for smart filtering or assisted AI query builder for the user to quickly and easily get the wanted data for further analysis. We can also create a simple chatbot for the user to interact with. The collected data can be then visualized and accessed using a dashboard or graphical interface. We can also create automatically some word clouds, which tells us the most used words in the reviews. And let me now be more specific and walk you through a tool we are currently developing for Etnetera Flow. So it's a web application where user can collect any app for reviews from Google Play or Apple App Store. It's downloads automatically on a daily basis. Uh, in the app, you can also read the downloaded reviews and check the configuration for the download. But the most important part is the chat analysis part, where you can simply chat with the collected data and get the insights on the data in a moment instead of reading large amounts of text reviews. You can see a prompt to summarize the reviews. It's asked to create to create a summary for reviews of MySQL app for last 30 days, and it gives us a short summary of what has been happening in the last 30 days in the reviews, which can be a really great time saver because the user doesn't have to go through the lot of text data and reviews, and just easily download data or visualize the data in just one prompt. So that is all from my side. I thank you all for listening, and let me now invite you to the Q&A session.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Andre, for your presentations. We now have a few more minutes left to answer a few questions from the audience. Let me see what's in the chat box. I think this one is for you, Andre. When combining passive and proactive rating prompt, does it count towards the same limit? Can you take this one, please?
Yes, a short answer is yes. The same limit applies, because even if you tap the rate us button in the passive prompt, it shows the same dialog that I've showed in the second screenshot. So from a system perspective, it's the same thing. It's just a different way of triggering the same stuff, but it's the same thing. So the limit is shared. If that answers the question.
Thank you, Andre. I think yes. And I can see another question from Hannah. Can the app compare ratings of multiple apps and also competitors? I think this one goes to you, Martin.
Yeah, yes, of course. The chat analysis can compare all the reviews that have been collected. So you can, for example, filter the reviews through the sector which are they for. For example, you compare your banking app to other banking apps and check the reviews and compare them together in a very easy way, in a like a chatbot kind of solution. So the answer is yes, definitely.
Thank you, Martin. I don't see any more in the chat, but I'm ready for that. So if I can ask another question, I would ask Ondra. Can we track whether a user actually submitted a rating and what ratings they gave?
That would be nice if we could do that, but we only know that the prompt has been displayed. We do not know if the user actually followed the prompt and rated the app, and we don't know if they rated 5 stars or 1 star or what they've written. So we only know that we've displayed the prompt, and that's it.
Okay, thank you. And there's a new one in the chat from Jan. I fetch ratings reviews from App Store, Google Play already. What set of tools would you recommend to use to analyze them, as Martin mentioned, and allow customers, cares, people to work with the results? Would you answer that, Martin?
Yeah, sure. So I would say it really depends on where the data is saved. So I would usually recommend, if you have, for example, the data stored in the Firestore or on Azure, I would recommend using services on that specific space. So, for example, for Firestore, it's best to use the GCP AI search tool, which is usually which is easily connected to the Firestore, and you just generate a wanted prompt, and you can quite quickly create a similar tool I have showed. But if you have just local data, just like files or something like that, I would recommend like Azure AI Search, which is the easiest way to start a rec app from the scratch. You just simply download, just upload the data, and it gets indexed automatically, and you're good to go in a few hours, even if you're not like AI specialist.
Okay, and one more from Jan. Interesting one. Do you generate answers to reviews? If yes, how?
Yeah, sure. I was also showing it in the presentation. It was like the suggested answer. Uh, it's like based on the, you can either use only simple LLM, which is not that good. The results are not that great. But the best way is to use all the data you have available about the app, like release notes and manuals and everything, and create a vector database from it and use some LLM model for RAG to this database. So you have like this base of information from which you can get the answers to the specific data. And from our perspective or from our experience, kind of some, I would say, like around 60-70% of the reviews or the questions or the bugs from the reviews can be solved automatically, or the answers can be answered automatically just by this tool.
Thank you. I don't see any more questions from the audience. We still have 2 more minutes, so let me find one more. Martin, can the AI system be adapted for multilingual apps and reviews in other languages? How that works?
Yeah, of course. The classification models for sentiment analysis can are usually multilingual or can be fine-tuned for specific languages. And the LLM solution I've showed even work with mixed input and output languages automatically from the scratch. So yes, definitely the language of the review doesn't matter, not at all.
Perfect. Thank you for your answers, guys. I think we have reached the end of today's sessions. Thank you all for joining. We hope you found the webinar insightful, inspiring. If you have any further questions or want to continue the conversation, we are more than happy to do so. Feel free to reach out. Have a great rest of the day. We hope to see you again at one of our upcoming Etnetera webinars. Thank you and goodbye.